Okay, so this is Deborah's work. She did. Now this is her choice of go beyond. This is her choice of um mobile view she wants to recreate. Now she has analyzed the design and she used the font or maybe her choice of font. And now let's review the design. Now this is how she made it to look like in a mobile. Now let's scroll on it. Now you can see how she did the design perfectly well. So you can tell how this works. Now this is how it works. So I'm not supposed to, okay, I don't know if it is her choice, but if my cursor clicks on the first one, it's supposed to change and not both of them going off at the same time. So, but she did great, but this is not supposed to, I don't know, but this is like, okay, I think it has respond. Okay, she did great. Her point of choice is okay. Her button is okay. She did great. Now you can tell how over her button is okay. She didn't make this place interactive. Then her button is okay. Then she did great. So I love what she did here. I love what she did here, and how she did this her button to hover, like hover. She placed it in a hover state, which is okay. Same thing here and same thing here as well. And then I love this um design she just placed here, which is okay. And then we have this button which she did like this. Now this is the how it's going to be, or this is how it's going to interact on a phone, like using your mobile phone. Now let's go straight into the design and see what she did. So now this is what she did. Now first thing first, when we review the work, you can tell that this was actually fixed in a position. So when we scroll, it just sorry, she didn't fix this in a position, but she could have fixed it in a position. You get? Now the spacing is okay, but I feel this place that has this curve is not necessary. Now how am I going to do? So what I will do is I'm going to drop a comment and say, instead of saying make it better, remove the curve, I can say why not make this corner radius to be, why not make this corner radius to be straight instead of having a curvish, instead of having a curve. So now let's say at the top right and left. Now this is a comment I've dropped for her. Instantly she will receive a mail from Figma. Then I will have to go through and said, okay, why not create a space here? Why not create a space between the hero section and the beginning of the body. So this is an hero section, the first place that show when we preview the design, and this is the beginning of the body of the landing page. Now she can just repeat this spacing at this top place. Now every other thing is okay. I love the alignment, which is okay. I love the background color, and then she made this white, which is perfect. The image is okay, perfect. The choice of color is okay, and this interaction she did here is perfect. Now you can tell that while scrolling, the spacing between this place and this place, the spacing between each section change here and here. So all I have to do is, now I have to say, why not, I'll say be consistent in your spacing, or in your section spacing, spacing. So that you will be consistent in her spacing. Now you can tell that she has gone back to her normal spacing, but in this place, the spacing is too much. Now she has gone back, which is okay, and this is perfect. So now when it comes to this, now I remember we talked about the size of button should be between 45 to 60. And when I preview it, it was actually very, very small. So now I need to know the input field and the button height to be sure. So the button height, what she used in the button height is 10, which is very, very, very small. It doesn't contain the size of a thumb. So all I have to do is I have to remind her that don't forget that now, yes, she used 10. She used 10 here, which is very, very small. So, and now I have to remind her that instead of placing this section at this place, why not increase your footer, take this company to this place, take this product to this place, and then make this join our newsletter to start from year to year, so that if a user wants to input their email address, it will be visible enough for them to read and understand, and then click join after typing. Now, same thing for this her button. So this her button, she used, now let's scroll here to see the height of her button. So the height of her button, she used so the height of her button is 16, which is not our regular size of button. So I'm going to be sure that this button also is what the height she used. So yes, she used 32, which is supposed to be 45. So now you'll be wondering why, yes, I'm designing a mobile, the button is supposed to be small. Yes, the button is supposed to be small. So if you're designing a web, you can use 50. That is why if I'm designing a web and a mobile, all I use is just 50, so that when I move the 50 into the mobile, it is okay, it is perfect. It will not make me to start reducing the button. The only thing I need to reduce is just the width of the button. So don't forget, the height size of our button should be between 45 to 60. Now, this is actually a good size, but some person's thumb are big, some person's thumb are small. So what I would advise you is, instead of using height 32, you can make it height of 45. You can use the least 45. And then you can just place the button one at the top or one at the bottom if the write-up are not much. Okay. Now the height she used here is okay. I love her font choice. I love her button, which is okay. Now you can tell this is 29. This is 29, the height. Yeah, the height of this is okay. The image she placed here is okay. It's just that the space, she wasn't consistent with her spacing here. I love this interaction she did there, which is perfect. The choice of image is perfect. The spacing is perfect. So there is no much there's no much feedback, because everything is being aligned very well. Okay. So then when you're done giving the feedback, all you can do, say, after dropping one or two feedback of which you find some error, then overall you will now say, you did a great job, well done. So by the time she has seen all those corrections, comments, and then she sees the last one and say, you've done a great job, well done, you can tell it has actually boosted her confidence. Yes, I did a great job, and I will do the corrections for me to learn. And by the time she implements the correction, it might even give her open door for new ideas. It might actually give her yes, it will give her open door for ideas, and it will also boost her confidence, and she will learn on what she has been told to correct. Okay, so that is how to give feedback. You can't just come here and say, add a space. So where am I adding the space? Am I adding the space on this button? Am I adding the space here, or am I adding the space here? So when you're dropping your comment, you need to make your comment to be in a professional way. When I mean professional way, it will be clear enough for both you, the designer, and you, the person dropping the feedback. Do you understand? Now, the next one we're going to move. So this is Angela's work. Now let's preview Angela. Okay, before I continue, let's go to the last part. She said redesigning a product named Go Cabin. The product provide a seamless booking experience for taxi ride, delivering service, and a combination of additional services like utility bill payment and grocery shopping, which make this product a unique. Now, her objectives. My aim was to practice and understand how the website design construction comes alive and see if I can give it a cool makeover or touches. Tweak anyone. To create a responsive website landing page design for mobile and desktop device that is interactive, appealing, and intuitive. To learn more features on Figma and its supposed to be S and its navigation. I tried to sense and understand the challenges of redesigning a taxi and delivering service for good user experience and efficiency. I implied the knowledge and inspiration from our design teaching and also applied the design principles, focusing on the empathy and usability. Good. I employed a clean and modern design style, of which she did, while still maintaining the primary goal of the product, the primary colors and primary goals of the product, the primary colors and font size. I plan to make a cool makeover and a different feel without devastating from the actually brand look, of which she did. Now, her challenges. One of the challenges I faced was, aside for electricity in my locality, was figuring out what people really need and how to make it work with fancy technology also. Now, figuring out what the right illustration to express or communicate a clear and cohesive idea or information was a bit tough. Yes, every designer will face this. Every designer will face choosing the right illustration or icon for their design, because you want your user to look at the illustration and tell what the user is supposed to do. So that is her challenges. One. Then the second challenge, she said I had to make sure it was easy to use, even though it consumed most of my night time because of the short deadline. I'm sorry about that, everybody. Now, her design choice and success. A clear design, a clear and modern layout for easy navigation, a simple and clear typography that is similar to the brand. Good. Responsive design for mobile and desktop laptop device. For example, I replaced the illustration card for a vertical non-interaction to an interactive horizontal slide. Perfect. That, I believe, enhances the user experience, gives a cool modern feel. Now, before this her last sentence, the B part is, even before I saw this, the first statement I made is, I love what she did here. Okay, she actually did not use the brown typography. She used something similar to that, of which it is visible enough for everybody to use. So whether you're using your phone, whether you're using your laptop, the font, it is visible enough for everybody to use. Now, she did a great job, but there are just few errors she did, of which I believe she will correct. Now, the next person I'm going to review her work is Angela's work. So she did a great job. I love the choice of color she used. So let's zoom together. So I'm going to preview her work and see how it turns out to be on a mobile phone. So while we wait for it to load, okay, now this is how it actually looks like. So this is how it looks like. And now we need to look at it and then give a general feedback. So first thing first is let's scroll from the beginning to the ending before we can drop our honest feedback or drop a constructive criticism. Now, first thing first is her status bar is out of where it's supposed to be on your normal phone device. Now, this her logo, Revo, is actually a bit stretch. I don't know if you can see it, and it's supposed to be where this status bar is supposed to be. Now, let's scroll. Now, when I scroll, her logo, status bar, and this hamburger menu is not supposed to scroll together. And this title text is not bad, it's okay, but she could have just make all this place to be a little bit, yeah, green is not bad, but then this place is not supposed to be green. I love her green shade of color, this and this. I love what she did. Her button is too small. It's too small, and the shadow is too much. Now, this her image here. This her image here is perfect, but it can be a little bit bigger, and then she will play around by reducing this black shadow. Now, her font of choice is not bad. So what she used is Roboto. I am sure this is actually Roboto. So I don't know how you did this, your design, for me not to see the font, but I am sure this is either Roboto or Inter. Okay, she used Inter. So now let's continue scrolling. Now, this text here is too tiny and it's not too visible enough for me to read. This is okay, but on this particular section is not visible enough. Yes, I can see it from my end, but what about those using their mobile phone? What about those that has that can't see a tiny text, so they can't see it? Now, your text, your title text is aligned to the center, and your body text is aligned to the left, which is not supposed to be like this. So it's either you make both of them to align to the left, or you make both of them to align at the center. Now, this your text. I love what you did here, which is perfect, but your image is supposed to start from here to the end of this place. So this person here is just making it look so rough and tattered. Now, I love what she did here. This is so nice. I love the interaction she did here. Shows that she learns very, very well. But this space here is not necessary. We don't need this space here. It's actually making your work not looking aligned. Now, the space here, now when I hover, I notice that the space covered, but when I take out my cursor, it's open. So she needs to be consistent or maintain the same. Now, let me go out. Now, she needs to be consistent in the height of this and this. Now, you could tell this is actually taller than this because the height of this is different from this. Now here she used this small spacing here, and here she didn't maintain the spacing here. Now, same thing here. Her text is at her logo is at her button is not the same as this. Now you can tell she has actually changed her button. Yeah, she has changed her button here. So I don't know if this is her secondary button, but her button is not the same. Even if she wants to use the same button, but one is going to have an icon and one is not going to have an icon, it should be of the same method. If it's curvy button, it should be curvy button. If it's straight button, it should be very straight button. So her button needs to be consistent. Now here, I noticed that the space here and the height of this is now different from this. Now the text here is too small. So I love what she did here. Now I don't know if you can see it, but if I take my cursor out and bring my cursor in, you can tell how the stroke comes in. Okay, I love this. I actually love this interaction she did here. But the icon, the text here is too small. It's not visible enough. So it's not visible enough that some of us on this class can't even see this interaction you did here. Now, the images you used on this place is now too small. You're not consistent again. Yeah. The images, if you want to place it in two, is perfect. But if you want to place it in one, then you have to be consistent in the height and the weight. Now, this space between the left and right is not necessary, and it's making this your images to be too short. Now, what she did here, now you can tell that her button has actually changed here. Now, this button is showing in cap lock. It's plenty shadow, and the text inside doesn't have space. While here, the text inside is, this is actually font size of bold, and here is font size of regular. You can tell her button is not consistent. Here she has a very high curvy, her corner radius is very curvy, and here it is not curving. And remember, this other button here is straight button. You can tell that she's not consistent in her button. And now the body text, you are not consistent in your body text, because you can tell that this red gown title is actually bigger than this exclusive offer. And if you check the space this side is actually bigger than the space here, your texts are not readable enough. Now, this your countdown. This is actually a little bit off from the center, and this is actually out from the center, and this out from the center. Okay, you can have make it like increase it and make it big, so that one can see it and then see the countdown offer. Now this your image is not at the center. I don't know if this is the body and title of this, or this is for this. Now your spacing now is now different, so you need to be consistent. Okay, I feel this is for this. Now you can tell that this is at the center and this is at the center, but this is not at the center. This designer clothes for you title is at the center, while the body text is at the left hand side. So the font size you use is very small. Now you can tell from this place and from this place, you're now having different size of image. Now same thing applied to this section and this section. You can tell that this was aligned to the left and this was aligned to the center. So you need to be consistent. So she has put feedback corner. So her feedback is not visible enough for users to read. And this her slider left and right, it is not visible enough for her to read. Now this her button is too small. So overall she did great, but there are 50% of errors on her design, of which I just explained bit by bit. Okay, so she needs to go back and work on this design. So first error she make is alignment. There's a lot of error when it comes to alignment in all the sections. 2, we have spacing. She is not consistent in her spacing. 3, her height of image are so different in all the sections. 4, her point of choice is perfectly okay, but the size and the weight, she didn't use it where she's supposed to use it, of which we just named them here. So yeah, I don't know what she actually did. So when I checked the design, I noticed I cannot edit it. She made them in form of vector. So this is supposed to be something I'm supposed to type by myself, but she made it in vector, which is not supposed to be so. So she didn't use, her point of choice is perfect, but she didn't use it very well. Now imagine she used 11 here, which is going to be very difficult for user to read. Now the number 5th one is her button. She's not consistent in her button. Her button have different size and different style or different pattern. Now let her take note of these 5 designs and the 5 corrections, and then go back to her design and then work her designs. Now the choice of color, I love the choice of color. The shade of the green she used everywhere, which made it perfectly fine. But there are some places she's not supposed to use the shade of green. For instance, this header here and the hero section. Let's say from the whole of the hero section. Okay, we all know what is hero section. So hero section is the first screen you see on your device, either the laptop, the tablet, or the phone. That is it. Like, so this is our hero section. So the choice of green she used here is a little bit off. But if she can make all this amendment based on this feedback I'm giving, she will have a great design. Now, if she go back to her design and then start working on these corrections or start implementing this idea or implementing these corrections, she will see that she has actually learned something, and she will have new ideas she can actually implement in this her design. Okay. Now, the next person we are going to review her work is Felix's work. So now this is Felix's work, and let's preview Felix's work. Now, this is what I actually explained before. If you don't put this your device in your mobile view in a mock-up frame, when I want to preview your work, it's going to be very difficult for me to actually preview your work. So I can't preview your work like this. Now, this is how it's going to look like. So if you're on this call and you are in class, I will advise you quickly open your Figma and add a mobile mock-up or mobile frame, phone frame to this your design, so I can preview it in a very good way. Okay. Now, while we are waiting for her to add a phone device to her frame, now let's move over to the next person. Okay. So this person did a nice job, but I don't know what. Okay, I think this is actually a. This look like Prime TV. So now let's preview this person's work. So let's see whose work is this. So let's see whose work is this. This is Joseph's work, which is cool. And let's preview this work. Now this is perfect. Okay, this is cool. Joseph used iPhone 14 and 15 Pro Max, and this is nice, which made it actually look way bigger screen. And now let's look at his work. Okay, so now first thing first is this color. Now let's zoom in. First thing first is I just noticed that you added a body text here. Now, first thing first is your body font choice is not readable enough. I didn't even notice that there is a body text until my cursor mistakenly clicked on it, and I found out that there is a body text on this place. First thing first is your font choice is not the right one to use, because top rated movie at a convenience of your home. Now, you can tell that I struggle to read you use is not readable enough. Now, your primary and secondary button are having two different fonts. Now, this is the secondary button, which is visible enough, and this is a primary button, which is not readable enough. Now, your hero section, I won't say 100% wrong. Sorry. If you can make this different from this, yes, I can say that the choice of image you use here is okay. I need to search, or just a text you actually drop here, because I'm not seeing any indication that shows that this is actually an input field. Now let's go back to how it should look like. Nice. Okay, I think you did a prototype, which is nice. So let's interact with your product. Wow, this is perfect. This is perfect. This is perfect, and this is perfect. This is perfect. Okay, so I love the interaction you did here. When I click, it changed, and when I click on this, it changed. And now the font choice you use here is showing that, I don't know if it's actually my eyes, but it's showing this is different from this. Now let's move back to your design and see the font height of this. So what you use is 15 pixels, which is actually too small for a title. Your body text should be between 14 to 16, depending the choice of fonts you use. Okay, but your title should be 18, semi-bold, bold, depending the choice type you use. We have 24, we have 22. So I love designing with even numbers. So that's I'm giving an example by even numbers. So you need your height to be visible enough. So this is actually like a body text here. And okay, and I think you added some text here. I don't know if it's from the image or you added it here. But when I look at it on the phone side, it is not, I don't even know. I had to go back to your design to see what you wrote there. But here it is not even readable at all. And you use font size of 5. So I have never used 10 before. The least I have ever used is 12. So using 5 is like you are going to stress your user's eye when it comes for them to read. So they have to bring the phone very, very close to the eye for them to read these fonts you added here. So this button or this element you add here is not bad, it's okay, but you could have made the height to be 45. So here you did the height is 29. So you can have increased the height for them to able to click. So if you don't want to use 45, you can go ahead, and if you don't want to use 50, you can go ahead and use 45, which is okay. So yeah, you used a good size of image, which is not bad. It's okay. I think I'm seeing something here. Okay, I think this your button this your text link are clickable. This is perfect. I love the arrangement here. It's perfect. Okay, this is nice. Okay, I think you didn't do any interaction here. This is nice, but the height is too small. So now let's go back to our design. This is nice. You did this section is fine, but the height is too small. So you can have just be consistent with this height. You can have be consistent with this height, 14:9. So, but yeah, what you did here is 137, which is not bad. So yeah, I'm going to struggle to read this text here. So I'm going to struggle to read this text. And okay, and also this text. Now, this section you did, this R rating movies and streaming, is not bad, it's okay. But this text here, I'm going to struggle as a user to read it. Now, why is this one straight and why is this one curving? I can't tell, but I feel there is a choice behind there's a reason behind what you did. Now, same thing here, I feel you duplicated this to replace it here, which is better, good. Now, this font choice, you actually use 2 different font choice, but you did not play around with it. So these 2 font choice are normally used as title text. So both of them can come as title text, not as body text. So either you use one as title text and look for another better font to use as body text. You can't use both of them as body and title, because I feel from my end that the 2 of them actually stand or play a good role as a title text. Now, I love what you did here, but this free and this doesn't balance well, and this doesn't balance well. So why is the subscription title here and why is this starting from here? So what you can have do is make your title text to be here, and then even if they're going to be spaced, there's a way you can play around it and then place it to be the same height and same width. Now this is your footer. So your footer is perfectly okay. This is a perfect footer, but this copyright should be here, and the font size could have increased from. So now let's see what you did. So your font size is 10. So instead of making it 10, we can make it 14 or 12, and then reduce this line to be here, and then make this to be here. So if I am to rate you, I will give you 6/10. you did a perfect job, but there are a lot of issues. First thing first is your font choice is not what you're supposed to use. So you're going to use maybe I think I like this other one. So I think this is Roboto. Okay, let's look for this name of the font choice. So this is Roboto Mono, which is perfect. So if you use Roboto Mono as a title text here, you can go ahead and use maybe Inter, or you can use outfit, or you can use Roboto itself. Roboto is not bad. You can use Roboto Mono as the title and the normal Roboto as your body text. It is going to be a perfect font choice if you want to use two types of fonts. Now, the second thing here is this body text. So if you can use Roboto Mono as your title text, and then you can make this color, or you can change, okay, you can change this image here so that this font text can be visible enough for users to read. Then you can use the normal Roboto as your body text, and then increase the font size to be, let me see the font size you use there. This should be like 10, 12 or so. So this is 9. So you can increase the font size to be 14 for it to be visible enough. The next is, I don't know if it is actually a search input feed here, but I feel this is what you did here, but it is not showing as a search input feed. Now, for your button, you can go ahead and use this Roboto Mono as your text, but you can now change it here on this particular section. Now, the next one you're going to do is you're going to increase this. I love what you did here. I like when I click, it change. Now, these categories, you're going to increase the height. Now, before we continue, this top pick, you're going to increase. I think this image is okay, but if you can make it horizontal animated, what Deborah did on her design, so you can just make 2 to be visible enough and readable enough, and then make the third one to just be inside, but maybe half is okay, so that users can scroll like this. User can scroll to the from the left, can swipe for them to see others of the top pick. Now the next thing is, this is perfect, this is okay, but increase your height, your text height. So here you use 15, I guess. So you use 15 here. So instead of using 15, you can go ahead and use 18 or even 20. This section is perfect. Just work on the title. This section is perfect. Increase the height. The width is okay, but increase the height and adjust the image. Then here, I am not sure of what you did here. I am not sure. But this text inside, it is not readable enough. I as a user, I'm going to struggle to see what is that. So let me see the font weight you use. You actually use 6. 6 is so small. Then here is okay. I think I love this text link. Perfect. So I have already explained on this X section. So you are going to work on it. So increase this, and now you can tell that you actually use a different color here and here. So you can increase this normal and then make them to be the same way, and you can just play around and place this at the center. And then the only thing is that the pattern is actually going to be different. Okay. Then for your footer, it's perfect. I love it. It's very simple footer. But all you have to do is this copyright needs to be here, and then reduce this line to be here, and then adjust your footer. Okay. Now this is perfect design. Now the next person's design I'm going to review is Blessings design. So this is Blessings design. Are they staying with me? Okay, so this is Blessings design. So let's preview her work. So I think both of them are the same. So she did Glovo. So if you have access to your Figma, quickly add a frame, a phone frame to your prototype, so that it will be very easy for us to preview your work. Now, while we are waiting for her to add a phone mockup, let's see Nkiru's work.
Okay, so this is actually in Kiru's work, but I am not sure of what she did here. I don't know if this is a mobile app page or it is a landing page. So, but let's preview and see what she did. Okay, so this is what she did. I feel she did Spotify. Okay, so she did Spotify home page. This is a mobile application, but the instruction was not an application, but a website. So that was the instruction. But I am going to pardon her and review her work. So she did a great job, but where are my status bar? So this is iPhone 13 mock-up, phone mock-up, which she did great. So I am not sure of what is going to be here, but this space here is not necessary. All she could have done is just duplicate this and then add it here. So for here, it is okay, but this space here and this space here are not the same spacing. So this element or this section here is perfect. So the spacing here, and spacing here are all different. And this spacing and is not necessary. She could have just duplicate this and then add it half here so that a user can scroll this way. Now for here, let's see if this is scrollable. This is not scrollable, but the spacing between each of them is different. Same thing applies here. So I think I like this spacing here, but the spacing here and the spacing here seems different. So she didn't make this to be to swipe to the right or left. Same thing here. She didn't do it. She didn't do any interactions at all. She just designed a mobile app and just dropped it there. So overall, she did great, but this was not the instruction that was given. So the choice of font she used is Pumpkins. So Pumpkins is a good font choice. The spacing, all she has to do is the spacing. So she need to work on the spacing. But the alignment, the choice color, the font choice is perfect. But all she need to work on is the spacing between each section and each section. She can go ahead and make here interactive to swipe to the left or to the right. Now, her bottom navigation or these bottom icons here, I'm not sure of what is happening here, but it seems she was trying to do a design, like a style like this, here and here. But this is not right. So this is another pattern and this is another pattern. So if you want to do this pattern, go ahead and do this pattern. If you want to do this pattern, it is always advisable to do it on a fintech, but at the center of your bottom navigation. So making it this pattern is looking like this is actually separated from these siblings. Okay, so all you need to work on is just your spacings and alignments. She did a great job. So I feel somebody has added a phone frame to her work. So let's add a phone. Let's see if she has added a phone frame. She has not added her phone frame. So let's go back to this work and then review together while we wait for her, since she's on the Figma file, to add a phone frame. So now I can't scroll on this. Okay. Now this is actually Feli's work. The choice font she used is Pumpkins. Pumpkins is a good font, but she did well. I think she added another body text here. Now this line height, the line space between these is perfect, but this is actually too close to this and too close to the button. Now the color and the image she used here is perfect. Now she did a great job here, but she could have just pinned or fixed this her header to a position. Okay, so this is nice. This is nice. This is nice. Now the spacing here is actually different. Is this new collection titled font size and width? Same thing as best fashion since 2022. So she could have separated this more spacing. So this is nice. I love her point of. Now this your body text is actually in bold. So let's go back to the design and see. So this is actually in bold and she used 9. 9 is and actually understand it, but she could have used 12 and then use regular instead of using semi-bold. I'm not sure, but I don't know if it's semi-bold she used here or bold. So she could have used 12px and then regular font. It is going to be very readable enough for users. Now this, yes, she used a nice font weight and choice, but this best fashion founded and I2, so this text under, she could have used font size of maybe 14 or 12 and it should be in regular, not semi-bold, because if it's shorter and you use a higher font weight, it will be very difficult for your user to read. Okay, now best selling product, the space here is too much. All she can have do is just duplicate this font text and then bring it here and then use. So yeah, she could have used regular instead of medium. So I love the choice of color. I love the alignment and spacing. I love this. I think this is the her secondary button, and this is okay. This is perfect. Now let's work on this her button. This button, this arrow is too. This arrow is too tiny. It's too thin. She could have increased it a little bit, and I think this is where your screen ended. Let me be sure it is where it ended. Okay, why can't I scroll anymore? I can't scroll anymore again. So I think what she did a great job. She did a great job, yeah. But this element or this section here, the button deal of the day and this body text is too close to it. She needs to be consistent in her spacing, and the font weight body text is not supposed to be semi-bold, and it's not supposed to be maybe 9, 10. It's going to be very, very difficult for user to read. Overall, she did a great job. So her design is not having a footer, so she needs to add a footer to her design. So now let's review the last person's work. Let's see if she has actually add a full mock-up. So let me look for a way to expand it, and then so we can review together. I think she's on the file. If you are on the file, you can go ahead and make the adjustments now. So I can't increase. Okay. So now this is her landing page. She replicated Glovo, which is nice. So I'm going to add a phone mock-up to this your design, so it will be good enough for us to review together. Your work together. Okay. So your illustration are good. Your hero section is perfect, but is a little bit stretchy, a little bit not visible enough to others, but I can tell from my end. The spacing is okay, perfect. The font choice and font weight is perfect. The locations are okay, but I feel you could have not scattered it this way. You could have just aligned them to be very straight here, instead of having this space here, 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 this space here. So what you could have do is all the short one, there's a way you can fill it. Like some short one, you can add this long one, add the short one, the little space remaining, you can just bring this Ghana that is small and adjust it. Instead of having this space here, this space here, this space here, space here, like space here, you're just making it to look scattered. So download the app. This is okay, perfect. This image you add here is perfect. Become a writer, become a partner, and then the last one is perfect. So let's see what careers, okay, and good enough. But this button, this badge, it is not. So, but your badge is not having a good height because tap like it is not up to the size of a thumb. It is actually small. So I will have to use my last finger to tap on it for me to actually take me to the App Store or Google Play Store. So the font choice is 16, which is perfect, and everything you did here is height is 40. You could have make it 45, which will be very, very good. So overall, you did a great job and you did well. Your font choice and then font weight greatly. You play around with it very, very well.